Hello, we are here at the ADAC Sim Racing Expo and it is day 2 and I am with iRacing legend Sampsoid. Hello sir, how's it going?
Very well, thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
No, anytime. I told this story on the stage about 10 minutes ago, and you probably heard it, but for the purposes of this little segment, I'll quickly tell it again. Sampsoid is the first sim racing channel that I ever watched. It's kind of the reason that I'm here, I guess. I found you and then I found Dave Cam. I downloaded gigabytes of stuff when I was at sea and fell in love with sim racing. So this is a cool moment. How are you finding the expo?
For me, it's awesome. I was meant to come to a few more, but with the pandemic, being in America, logistically wasn't possible. So to meet everyone and meet the faces behind some of the companies and some of the communities who have really shown up, it's better than all the pedals and wheels, so that's fantastic. Obviously, it's been fantastic to try all the different equipment that I've been pining after trying, but it's the people.
Yeah, 100%. So who have you met?
Well, I've met all the big streamers and obviously Tony Canard's here, Dave Cam here. We just bumped into Random Call Sign. They're all here, but it's everyone from my community, that are just here for seeing sim racing stuff, but just to hang out with them and see them in real life rather than, like yourself, not spend years just in
remote, right?
Exactly.
It's interesting, right? Because you're a British streamer, but you were based in the US, but you did iRacing. So are you meeting more of your community here than you would have done in any kind of other expo or when you're in the US? Yeah.
I think not to judge, but obviously the Americans lean towards more. Not all oval, Indy, that style of racing where obviously Europeans is huge on the F1. And GT is growing fast. So I think more of my original fan base is still here. How does it feel, right? Let's say you've probably had people that have been in your Discord for years that you've spoken to, maybe even on a daily basis, but you've never met them. And then not only do you get to meet them, but you meet them here at the kind of the mecca of sim racing. How does that feel when you see them? You might not even know what their face look like. Initially, it's strange because you build a photo in your own head of who they are. Like a few of my teammates are here. I've spent more hours with than my wife over the last 3-4 years. Sorry, love. So it's awesome. I don't know, because after you get past that initial adjustment of visualization.
They're taller or they're shorter. We got people in our team. I'm like, wow, I didn't realize you were in your late 30s or early 40s.
Correct.
Because our team captain is in the early 20s. A lot of the guys are in their teens, and then we've got a couple of guys in their 30s in their team. But because you only ever see them chatting or hear their voices, you have no idea. So it's a very cool experience.
So once that's passed, you're then back to just being friends and hanging out here, looking at stuff we have a common
love for.
Exactly. It's amazing. It's amazing.
It is really cool. Okay, so let's briefly talk about kit. I know you said that it's all about the people. 100% but we're in a room full of kit. So what stood out to you?
Assetech have money.
Yes, they have a huge. The booth looks.
It does look stunning. The SimiQ pedals have been on my mind the whole trip. Not just the price, but the technology and is it worthwhile? Is it beneficial?
Is it the next step in sim racing tech, to excuse the pun?
I don't know. I need more. I want to. I need more time.
Maybe not that product, but is the concept of force feedback in a brake pedal at least the future?
Yes, because we've had motors that rumble on the back of our pedals.
We've had actual ABS attached to a pedal.
Correct. I want to speak to real life drivers and not just sim. Does it go too far?
Yeah.
This doesn't happen in a car.
Yeah.
I get we don't get seat at the pants, so we do need extra feedback. But is it the right feedback? Because we are getting it through our hands.
Yeah.
Will we ignore that? Will we get conflicting pieces of information?
Yeah.
So I need time with them.
Yeah.
But yes, it can be. It could be. I think it could be pay to win.
So we were saying
could be, but I'm not saying it can. I'm not saying
it could be an unfair advantage if it's kind of too good, and it would be a shame if it was at that price point, right?
Correct. Yes.
But it's like anything. The first time a force feedback wheel came out, it was super expensive.
Correct.
But it comes down as more people enter the market. So this time next year, when we're stood in this hall, you can guarantee there's going to be 3 or 4 different force feedback pedals.
Correct.
They're trailblazing, right?
Yeah. I think obviously the one thing that does stand out to me that I experience with all types of pedals is the maintenance that goes into looking after springs or your elastomers or the hydraulic issues and maintenance, whereas the technology essentially is maintenance free for a long time with extended use.
And did you get a look at the firmware?
No.
Okay, so the firmware has essentially the same kind of thing that like your wheel has, where you can kind of build a curve of resistance into the wheel. So essentially, what they can do is they can duplicate. This is a Ferrari 488 GT3 brake pedal, but here's a Formula car. It's like a brick wall, and they can. And another thing that was quite interesting is that they can reduce the resistance at, like, say, 70%. Mm-hmm. So you could practice trail braking. So if you need to get 70% and then bring it back, that you can get little notches of feedback as you go to train.
It's clever, yeah.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But anyway, this is not a segment about Simigube.
No.
I do think that they've kind of stolen the show a little bit with their product.
100%.
It's the most innovative thing out there. You've got the ABS brake, which is kind of up there, but I think people know what force feedback does, and so when they hear it in a pedal, it's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I was excited about is what we're seeing as a new trend is if prices are flying down.
Yes.
We're seeing direct drives come in with 3 wheels and a set of pedals with load cell coming in at 600. Like, this is also game changing. So it is obviously a flip. Sad to see that prices could go back up again with this kind of technology. So the balancing act.
Yeah. I mean, and there's a huge area at the back of the hall which is empty because sadly Moser and Simagic had to pull out because of what's going on in China with COVID. Mm-hmm. But that would have been very interesting to see those guys in the hall next to the likes of your Asetek and your Fanatec. But then you've got Asetek and even Track Race. They're coming out with electronics. So I think the electronic space is about to get very competitive, which is good for us.
Correct.
Because it pushes them to put their quality up and their prices down.
Yeah, for sure. But Asetek looks like the place to be.
Yeah, the party the other night was a lot of fun. So, what have you got left on your to-do list here?
I suppose just to take it back a step, enjoy it myself, go around, try things myself, and be a fan of it rather than the other side of it. So I still love all this stuff. So I just need to find the time to
go and sit on something.
Correct.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, brilliant. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. Great to chat to you.
Likewise.
I'll see you in a bit.
Yep, will do. Thank you.